Welcome back into Bo's Garage. Sorry for the last minute video tonight. I honestly, God, forgot today was Wednesday. I thought today was Tuesday, so I was like, okay, perfect. I got plenty of time to film tonight, but that's because I worked this past weekend, so I apologize for the late upload to the viewers out there. My last video was basically a recap of what to look for when you're looking to purchase a used car this tax season. Well, tonight's video is going to move forward on that same subject. So I showed you what to look at the car. Now we're going to talk about what to look at with the seller. So obviously there's different ways you'll be shopping, whether it's at Joe Schmo's used cars or some buy here pay here lot, or just somebody like on Facebook Marketplace, or even you going down the side of the highway, there's a car sitting on the side of the road, just however. Well, this is how you need to look before, all right, you've looked at the car, and so now we're dealing with the individual. Now, like I said in my last video, pre-purchase inspection is worth it, and any dealer worth their salt will allow you to take it for a pre-purchase inspection. Any seller, so on and so forth. If they don't allow it, that's going to be a red flag to me. Now the next part, and this is a key one: no title, no deal. Now I get it, some states are different. I know in Alabama, if it's over like 20, 30 years old, it doesn't have to have a title, so that's a little bit different circumstance. But I know in Louisiana, it's a hard no. In Mississippi, it's very difficult to get a title, unless it is over 30 years old. But let's say like this 2000 Ford Expedition, or even like a later model car, if that guy you're talking to, like especially if it's an individual seller, and they say, oh, I don't have the title, no deal. No deal. Do not, the conversation does not go any further. And they'll say, oh, well, I'll get it to you. No, do not trust them. Because you know what's going to happen? They if they're a scumbag, they could just say, oh, they stole my car. Then you've got this whole legal aspect there. You won't be able to get the vehicle registered without a title. And I know some people are like, well, yeah, we know this. But there are some people that don't realize these things. So you make sure when you're doing this that they have a title for that vehicle. Now, with that being said, when you have that title in your hand, look at the VIN number on the title. Now, every state's title is different, but they should have VIN number and they'll have the number. Look at it and compare it to the number on the car. Don't look at the door, look at the windshield jamb. In fact, I'll show you. Let me get my camera over here. So we're over here at my truck, my Expedition. And if you look right here, let me see if I can get the camera to focus in. There. You see, that's my VIN number to the truck underneath this here. Now, in that case, a quick little thing I like to do, especially if there's a little bit of iffiness with the title or anything, or just anything in general. If you go on your phone, the National Crime Insurance Database online, you can freely check that VIN number, punch it in, boop, put it through there, and it will tell you if that car has been reported stolen. It's even more urgent when you're dealing with a motorcycle, because motorcycles are very easy to be stolen, and these things pop up all the time with no titles. So be careful and protect yourself. Now, at a dealership, it's a little different because they have state licensing and they can get you a title. Things are a little bit different there. But check with your state's bylaws. Because, again, this is you protecting yourself when you're going to purchase. On to the next part, you also have to be aware of the title. Now, every state is different. We'll set you guys up. Every state is different in how they brand titles. And it'll have a brand on it. Like here in Mississippi, you'll have like salvage titles and you'll have bonded titles. Now, basically, in the state of Mississippi, if you don't have a title for this car, you can get what's called a bond, and it depends on the vehicle, the value, the cost of it. You'll file paperwork. They'll give you a bonded title that's good for 3 years. And if nobody lays claim to the car and it doesn't come back stolen or anything like that, then the state of Mississippi will issue you a clear title. So a bonded title is not a bad thing. However, if you live next to us in Louisiana, Louisiana does not accept bonded titles at all. So you will have to register that vehicle in Mississippi or a neighboring state until it is issued a clear title. Now, and I don't know how other states would reissue a bonded title. I'm not sure how they play it, but I know Mississippi, like I said, 3 years. Now, another thing is branding from issues. Like you have flooded titles for flood vehicles and all that. Now, Louisiana is very, very, very funny and very strict in how they do their stuff. This Expedition behind me technically was a flood vehicle. When I went to purchase it in 2015, I went to go buy it for my brother. I signed paperwork that stating that this was a flood vehicle. Well, we got all that paperwork. I turned it into the state of Mississippi. The state of Mississippi didn't put a brand on that truck. So it is actually was issued a clear title. And you have to be aware of those things because somebody, now me, if I was to ever sell that truck, which I wouldn't, if I sold it, I would sell it back to my brother. But anybody else would turn around and say, oh yeah, it's a clean vehicle, no problem. But technically you were buying a flood vehicle. Now, I've examined every corner of this truck, and I know the flooding on it wasn't bad. It did damage the rims, hence why the rims are horrendously rusty. And the suspension components were originally damaged, but they have been replaced with new suspension components. Everything else has been cleaned. There was no flooding in the interior. I was able to tell that by, obviously, all the modules on the floor are original, have not been replaced, and they're all functional. And then also, I pulled the carpet back, and if it was a flood vehicle, especially with how dirty the water is down here, it would have been a lot of silt and stuff on the floor, and there was none. Now, but that's another thing you have to think about. A good key takeaway, if you get into a vehicle and it's got a mildewy smell, and if you look at the headlights and taillights and there's like a lot of condensation all the way around, that's not always an indicator. However, just keep a thought in the back of your head. Now, Louisiana is very strict. It is illegal, technically, to sell a total loss flood vehicle without, and if you do sell one, it has to be fully documented. But like I said, we had all the documentation, turned everything in when we registered the truck, and Mississippi just said, so beware on that. I hope this will at least give you guys a little bit of process, and if you would like, please comment below. I can go into negotiation tactics in my next video if you'd like. Thank you guys for watching. If you've watched this, please subscribe, and I'll come pet your dog. Thanks, guys.